The Immortal Thor, issue number 23. That's right, folks. We are reaching the end of this run, which is a shame. I think it's been a much needed revival for Thor, like coming off of the end of Donny Cates not really doing stuff, and that kind of coming from the Jason Aaron stuff. We needed something big to happen with Thor, and I think taking him in this really weird direction has been working. I'm going to be very curious to see who's taking on the book next. I'm not sure who it is. If they announce somebody, I'm not sure. Not that there's big shoes to fill, like, after this. I mean, it's kind of setting up that Thor could die, but it's Thor, so I don't think the character is actually going to die. But we'll see what happens. So at the end of the last issue, it was kind of all about leading us into the labyrinth where we met the Minotaur. And this issue opens up by introducing us to who this is. This is the Demiurge, or the Demiurge, the gods above gods. And this one is Kemur, or Kemur, whatever you want to say. Look, these are old-timey names. I don't know what they are. I think it's like Kemur, or Kemur. I don't know. I'm going to say it like Lemur, but with a K, so Kemur. He was there before everything. Before there was a throne to sit upon, he was the throne. He was in charge. He's like the king of kings, the god of gods. That kind of thing is what we're saying here. And one day his son rose from the ground, the son of Gaia, and from him, and it was this weird being of pure light and fire. And he's like, "Oh, interesting." And he held its breath, like, "Okay, that's something to look out for." But now he held his breath again in the present time as he was accosted by Thor and Hermund and Scourge as they're trying to save Heimdall. So they try to attack this big Minotaur. All they really do is spring Heimdall from the clutches and they get him away. And Thor's like, "Okay, this is the god of gods. I don't know how to really go at this, but I was told I'd have 3 magical weapons for this very reason. I guess we're going to try to do it." So there's a little bit of a fight, and it ain't looking good. Thor gets hit pretty hard, and he attacks back. He lands one blow through his axe. He actually lands it into the peck of the Kemur, and he's like, okay, so that kind of did something. Not a whole lot, but it's enough to show you the creature can bleed, and that leads them to try a new attack, but literally this a stomp of the hoof is as powerful as an earthquake, shattering everything around them. It ain't looking good. Scourge's new axe is crying because it's well, this fight's not gonna go well. The axe itself's this is bad. We're not gonna win this. That's a bad omen that the axe is telling us we can't really solve this problem. And Thor starts to remember something that Loki was saying to them about here's the path that we run and the creature that we fight, this kind of thing. You need to, and this has kind of been, I guess, the theme of the book as well, is know your place and understand where we're going and how we've gotten here, and humility. Humility is very important. I think this book has quietly been about Thor learning that maybe he's got to tone it down a bit. So he's going to attempt to teach this beast the same type of lesson that he's learned. So he morphs the belt that he got from Zeus. He took the power of Zeus and he put it onto that cool belt. Well, he turns it into a ring. And the first thought you have is the one that's going to happen. Thor goes to attack Kemur, and Scourge is like, okay, this is going to be sick. So Thor has this huge ring, and they go up to fight Kemur, and then boom, he stabs the ring through the god's nose, and just the very act of feeling the pain coursing through his nostrils reminds him of the last time he felt cowardice. So we see when Adam arose from the ground, and Kemur was like, that is a thing that's dangerous and powerful. I could fight it, but I'm going to run away. So we see he's running away, and he's like, man, the last time I felt shame, I'm just a big old coward. That's the truth about all kings, is that they are cowardly, and in the face of true power, they are nothing. And humility is one of the things that they need to learn to understand. So Thor's like leading him by pulling the ring through his nose, and Scourge and Herman have like a plan, like, let's throw the axe into his leg. We'll knock him down that way. An easy enough solution to take him down. I should point out too that through all of this, we are still getting like the narration from Loki, and it's getting a little more like meta as we get towards the end of it. And it's like, well, that's the story, folks, and that is the story of this. And for a story to have meaning, for a story to be true, it must be able to end. Understand ye yet, or what? So it's like Loki telling us, like, this is... I think it's kind of like... And I could be misreading this, because we still got a couple issues left. To me, it's kind of like, this is how all of these stories are going to end. About these beings who are elder and forever. The only way to defeat them is to teach them humility. And maybe that's what this arc has been for Thor. Maybe that's what it's been for Scourge and Loki as well. Very interesting. I kind of dig it. So we see that the bull is wounded, and there's only one thing that can kill it. And we see hands off page, and they're grabbing like the horn. It's Loki. It's Loki. Loki's grabbing their horn, turning it into an arrow, and they fire it into right between the eyes of Kemur, thus killing him. And there's like, I'm sorry, Thor. This is how it had to be. And then the trio are like, wait, none of us really like did anything that would kill this creature. So why are they dead? And we hear like, a piece of eternity that fell into my hands. I forged it into a weapon that could end the power of kings. It seemed a good way to end this one. And that is when Loki reveals themselves, and it's like, well, looks like we've reached the end, folks. Here we go. I'm so sorry. This is what we're doing. Great. It's really great. What an interesting design for Loki. Like, I think earlier in the book, it looks fantastic, but come on, look at that. Really fun and cool. I don't know where we're going, and that's always an interesting angle to play, especially if a character like this, who has been through everything. I think this book has just been genuinely tormenting us with the idea of like what godship is and how it can like haunt you and teach you a lesson about yourself, and sometimes you refuse to learn that. Because Thor is a main character in comic books, he can learn that lesson a whole bunch, and that is what he is doing here. So I think it's pretty exciting. I'm curious to see where we are going to go from here. I don't know. Could be cool. It's got to be something with Thor and Loki, because that's kind of like what it's been about at like the end of the story. I guess it's the end of the story. It's got to be those two. So it's exciting that we're getting there. I like Loki in this run too. Very well written. So the Immortal Thor, issue number 23. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.